All right, it's that time of the year. End of the year lists. This is the first list of the Miguel Don MMA Awards. As you can see, I still have the shades on because I'm still shamed. Let's just get right into the video. Best fighters of 2024. I don't know how many fighters exactly I have on this list. Who cares, you know? Starting off the list is Mr. Jim Miller. 2-1 this year. The only loss coming at UFC 300 against King Green. But he had one performance bonus. The reason why I put him on this list, some people may be like, really, you put Jim Miller on the list? Yes, I put Jim Miller on the list. He's a crafty vet. Like I said, great performances for a crafty vet. But I feel like he deserves some recognition. He's been putting in work. He's been in the UFC for how fucking long? He's still adding to that record. He's fought 3 times this year. He's still going. I wouldn't be surprised if he fought 3-4 times next year. He doesn't seem too washed like a Tony Ferguson or anything. Tony Ferguson's on like a 9-fight lose streak. At least this guy is still winning. But yeah, so shout out Jim Miller. I feel like he deserves some credit. Obviously, he's not in contention for Fighter of the Year, unless he's your favorite fighter. But he has been putting on solid performances, win, loss. He's still in there. That Bobby Green match, that King Green match that he had at UFC 300, he was getting obliterated. He was getting destroyed, but he was still in it. He had the heart of a lion. He kept going. That's why Jim Miller's on the list. Anyway, next one on the list is Peyton Talbot. There we go. Mid-video fix. I had to adjust the fucking shit on my presentation, but whatever. Peyton Talbot, 2-0 this year with 2 performance bonuses. He is an undefeated and an exciting prospect. Lucas Tracy and all these other fans on Instagram, YouTube, whatever, they say he's what Sean O'Malley should have been. He kind of has that swag to him. He has that finesse on the feet. He'd be knocking people out. Fuck yeah, that's what we like to see in prospects. And I just overall think he's really skilled. I'm really excited to see how far he progresses next year. I think this is out of 13 fighters, so he's number 12 on my list. A lot of exciting things coming from this gentleman, Peyton Talbot. I'm looking forward to seeing more of him. So on the list, I think number 12, like I said. Next one, number 11, is Brandon Royval. Now, why is Brandon Royval on here? I'm so glad you asked. He is 2-0 this year with 1 fight of the night bonus. Arguably the number 1 contender. I know that sounds weird because he's lost to like Pantoja twice. How can you justify, like, handedly? He lost him twice handedly. So how can you justify a 3rd match with Pantoja? I don't know. But he is making quite the case. He beat Brandon Moreno, who a lot of people thought was going to beat him, because I think Brandon Moreno has a win over him. So now they're 1-1. And then he defeated undefeated prospect Tatsuro Taira, that a lot of people were like, he's going to give Pantoja the hardest challenge. He's stylistically the worst matchup for Pantoja. And then Brandon Royval stops that. He stops the hype train. He stopped the Brandon Moreno hype train, which is why Brandon Moreno had to take some time off. He stopped the Tatsuro Taira hype train. And he looks good. He looks like he's improving. It looks like he's getting better. He wants that get back. He wants to get the title. I just don't know. He's in a weird spot. I don't know how you would justify a 3rd match with Pantoja. And I don't think you can. Unless he puts on like a Max Holloway, Calvin Kattar type of performance. I don't see him moving up either. So he's in a weird spot, but he's been killing it this year. Sure, there were split decision wins, but still, he's putting on banger matches. He'd be going out there. He'd be fucking shit up. So yeah, shout out Brandon Royval. Now we are approaching the top 10. Number 10, we got Carlos Prates. 4-0 this year, 4 performance bonuses while I cannot speak. He's undefeated in the UFC and has an exciting style. A lot of people compare him to like the second coming of Anderson Silva, the way he'd be knocking people out. And he's moving up in the rankings. I don't know. Once again, call me a casual, whatever. I don't pay attention to the rankings every single day. But I don't know if he was ranked before he beat Neil Magny. But now he's ranked. I think he's ranked 13 or 14. One of those. The reason why some people might be like, what? He should be higher on the list. He's only number 10. I put him at number 10 because he beat Neil Magny to get into the rankings. Neil Magny was kind of like his level up. What is it called? A litmus test? That was his litmus test. And the other people he were fighting, they were good fighters, but they weren't ranked, and he clearly outskilled them, hence why he has 4 performance bonuses. I'm pretty sure he knocked everyone the fuck out. So yeah, I hope he continues a knockout streak. Now that he's in the rankings, I'm excited to see who he fights now in the welterweight division. There's a lot of good matchups. He could potentially fight for a title next year. Who knows? But he's moving up. He's very exciting. Like I said, undefeated in the UFC, knocking everybody out. So he's very exciting. I want to see more of him. I'm pretty sure we can all agree that we all want to see more of Carlos Prates. Shout out to Fighting Nerds. Next on the list, if I remember, because I created this list, the next member is also a member of the Fighting Nerds, and that is Caio Borralho. And as you guys can see, on his left shoulder, there's a little guy there, Nasruddin Imavov. The reason why I put him there is because I was kind of torn between Caio and Nasruddin. But in my opinion, I know Nasruddin Imavov is higher on the rankings. He's only one rank higher than Borralho right now. They kind of, I would say fought similar people, but they only fought one similar person, Jared Cannonier. And I believe Caio's performance was way better than Nasruddin's performance. I feel like early stoppage with the Nasruddin performance, but I don't want to call early stoppages. The referees know what's up. So I personally think Caio had a better year than Nasruddin. I know Nasruddin's one rank above him, and I think they fought about the same. 2 fights this year. Nasruddin may have had 3. But I think Caio is the more exciting one, and I feel like he deserves to be on the list more than Nasruddin Imavov. But if you personally have Nasruddin Imavov on your list and not Caio, or Nasruddin above Caio, go for it. I don't give a fuck. This is my list. But anyway, 2-0 this year with 1 performance bonus and 1 fight of the night bonus. Undefeated in the UFC and is closing in on a title shot. I think he's ranked number 6. I feel like he's 1 fight away from a championship. So he's like he's in the spot for potentially a number 1 contender match. A lot of people are floating around Robert Whittaker. I think that would be a good fight for Caio. Well, it's just, I feel like there's almost a logjam at the top. We have to wait for the Strickland Dricus fight. And then obviously Khamzat deserves it next. So I don't know if he can get 1 fight in next year and then wait. I feel like that could hurt his momentum. I would say he's in a weird spot, but a good spot. Next on the list, shout out Caio, Fighting Nerds. Let's go. I would be wearing my normal glasses, but I'm wearing the glasses of shame. But anyway, next up, Magomed Ankalaev. 2-0 this year with 1 performance bonus. He's the definite number 1 contender. And then Pereira kind of ducking him adds aura. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, his performance against Rakic was boring. And then he knocked the fuck out of Johnny Walker. But people are, after the Rakic performance, people are like, really? This is who people want to see? People make the joke that the reason why he's not getting the championship fight against Pereira is because Dana White hates his style and that he thinks he's boring. He doesn't like boring fighters. But he's kind of undeniable. But he is the definite number 1 contender. I don't know why the fight hasn't been made yet. I don't know why they gave it to Khalil Roundtree over Magomed. I think that's interesting. But that Khalil Roundtree fight with Pereira was pretty good. But I just don't understand. Why are we not giving Magomed Ankalaev the championship fight? I feel like he's been the number 1 contender for a while. He's been undeniable for a while, but now he's like actually like if you don't give him the title shot next, something is up. Something weird is up, and I can't explain it. I don't know what the fuck Uncle Dana and the UFC does, but give Magomed his title shot. But I know he's a capable grappler. Like I said, I can't talk today. And he could finally test Pereira, but I'm a little nervous because he's just like, I want to strike with Pereira. I don't know, dog. I don't know if you should do that. I believe Magomed has a game plan and he'll execute it perfectly. I just want to see the fight. Shout out Magomed. I kind of already forgot number on my list. Fuck it. Next on the list, Merab Dvalishvili. What? Why do you... Merab's a champion. He dethroned Sean O'Malley. Why is he, like, decently low on the list? Well, I'll explain. He's 2-0 this year. He dethroned the champion, Sean O'Malley. He is highly skilled. Incredible gas tank. Ridiculous. But I don't like to say ducking. But this is kind of ducking. Not as bad as John Jones. I feel like Merab kind of has he's not necessarily ducking, but I feel like his reasoning for not immediately. I mean, he's already scheduled to fight Umar, but I think his reasoning for the calling out Figgy, calling out all these other people besides Umar makes sense, because Umar he didn't really fight anyone in the top 5. That Sandhagen match was kind of forced on, like the Umar match was kind of forced on the Sandhagen, and Sandhagen was like, fuck it, if I can't beat this guy in the top 15, then I shouldn't be fighting for a title. So shout out Sandhagen for taking that match. But I kind of understand, like, oh, you beat one contender. How do we know you can compete at a high level? I think Sandhagen's a good test. And Dana White did promise that fight was a number 1 contender match. So honestly, obviously give it to Umar. But I can understand why Merab was saying all that shit. Also, he could just be scared. Stylistically, I don't think that's a good matchup for him. And I don't like calling fighters scared of other fighters, because they're fighters. It's their job to fight people. But there's some definite, like, weird ducking shit going on. But I'm not, that's why I'm saying it hinders him a little bit. I do think other fighters in the list have had better years than him. Sure, he became champion, but he fought twice this year. And I'm going off of not just like becoming champion, but like performances, growth, and all that stuff. Anyway, on to the next one. We have Umar Nurmagomedov. It's kind of funny because I was just talking about Merab ducking him. I kind of forgot I even put him on after this. But anyway, he's 2-0 this year, undefeated fighter, next in line for the title. Boogeyman, question mark? I feel like he almost is having the Islam effect. Like, Islam had such a hard time getting fights, because people were like, you don't deserve a title shot, even though he was on that ridiculous winning streak, still is. But people were like, you don't deserve a title shot because you haven't fought anyone in the top 5. But no one really wanted to fight him. No one wanted to fight him. Shout out Corey Sandhagen for actually taking the challenge. Sure, Sandhagen didn't win the fight. I mean, Umar's a tough match. He's undefeated. I can see why people are like almost kind of scared to fight him. Also, being the cousin of Khabib kind of adds some aura, and also the ducking also adds aura. So I feel like this is a good spot for him. He has proved himself high level enough. A lot of people before, when Umar was like ranked 13, 14, whatever, people are like, he's high level. Obviously, we don't know. Sure, he has the name Nurmagomedov, but we don't know. But now we do know. And he's definitely, he's already fighting for the title. So glad that is happening. And shout out Umar. Next up is Joaquin Buckley. I think this is number 5 on my list. Now this may or may not be controversial, because I know Joaquin Buckley isn't the most liked fighter. But just like the Jim Miller placing on my list, Joaquin Buckley deserves to be highlighted. He is 3-0 this year, 1 performance bonus and 1 fraud check. And when I mean the fraud check, he fought that, what was that guy? He had like 40 fights. Uziboyev or something? Ruziboyev, or I forgot what his name was. The Uzbekistan guy? But yeah, he had like 38 finishes or something like that. 30 finishes or something like that. I feel like the UFC was hoping for something there. And Joaquin Buckley pulls up and shows there's levels to this, bro. Shout out Joaquin Buckley. Honestly, I have heard a lot of people say this, and I agree 100%. He has improved significantly. I remember when he was in the middleweight division, he had a hard time breaking into the rankings. I think he was like, the highest he got was like 14, and then he fell out, and then he got back in, and then he was trying to get back in, but he was having the hardest fucking time getting into the rankings. But I don't know what he is ranked in the welterweight division right now. Could be 6, 5, one of those. But shout out Joaquin Buckley. He deserves to be highlighted. He is definitely skilled. I feel like he could be next in line for a title shot. I feel like... Okay, so I hope this doesn't age horribly, but I think he's going to beat Colby. I'm like super confident he's going to beat Colby. I was thinking about waiting until that fight to make this list, but fuck it. Even if he loses, I still don't think that would mess up his placement too much. But I believe he's going to beat Colby. And also, potentially a hot take. People can flame me. I know people don't like Joaquin Buckley. If he were to fight Usman, which I feel like if he gets past Colby, he should fight Usman for like a number one contenders. I know Usman shouldn't fight for a number one contender match right away. But if he were to fight Usman after fighting Colby, I think Joaquin Buckley could win that. He knocked out Stephen Thompson, who's only been knocked out once by Anthony Pettis. And Joaquin, sure, I get it. Wonder Boy is older now, but I still think it's impressive because Kevin Holland couldn't do that, and Bilal couldn't do it with the ground and pound. So I still think that's impressive to knock out Wonder Boy. Joaquin Buckley, shout out Joaquin Buckley. Incredibly improved. I believe he's going to beat Colby. And if he were to fight Usman, I would favor Buckley in that match. Hate me all you want. I think Buckley deserves some praise. And I'm excited to see what happens after the Colby fight. No offense to Joaquin Buckley, but in the middleweight division, he was kind of like nothing. But now he's like potentially can be champion in the welterweight division. Greatest move in his career, moving down to welterweight. Smart man. Shout out Joaquin Buckley. Next up on the list, Renato Moicano. Money Moicano. Show me the money, bro. He is 3-0 this year. And I think it's complete bullshit that he has no performance bonuses. Like I said, no performance bonuses is a robbery. That first round against Benoit Saint Denis absolutely fucking destroyed him. No offense, I like Moicano. I really do. But I didn't think he was going to go out and like absolutely destroy Benoit Saint Denis in the first round. Sir, the second round, he didn't really, it was like more of a Benoit round, but who knows what would have happened? Maybe he was conserving, maybe he destroyed him in the first round. Maybe was regaining some energy in the second round. We don't know because the doctor stopped it. Because he fucked him up in the first round. So shout out Moicano. And then that Jalen Turner performance, I also feel like that deserves a bonus too. Gets a flash knockdown. Jalen Turner is fucking stupid, makes a mistake. And then Renato Moicano takes him down, fucking destroys him. Oh yeah, that deserves a bonus. And the Benoit Saint Denis one deserves a bonus. And also, shout out his podcast. His podcast is popping off. But yeah, he's been giving excellent performances. And I'm excited to see what happens next. He's going to fight Benny Dariush. I feel like they dropped the ball by not giving him the Paddy fight. That would have been a good one. Sure, Paddy is lower in the rankings, I think. But it would have been a good match. It would have been an exciting match. I would have loved to see the press conference with that. No offense to Benny Dariush, but like he got knocked out by Oliveira, gets knocked out by fucking Armand. I think Moicano is going to steamroll him. He could prove me wrong. That could be another poorly aged take. But I feel like we should have given Moicano someone else. Potentially higher in the rankings. Because I think Dariush is 9. I don't know at the top of my head. But I feel like Moicano deserved better. But who knows? I'm not a matchmaker. So fuck it. It's not my job. Whatever. Maybe these guys know what's up and I know. But anyway, shout out Moicano. Shout out his podcast. Shout out Gilbert Burns. And shout out Maddie Betts. But anyway, next up we have, I think we're approaching the end. Moicano was ranked number 4. Now we're on rank number 3. And it is Dricus du Plessis, my boy. I love Dricus so much. 2-0 this year with 1 fight in the night bonus. Became champ and finished Adesanya. I think he's the first person to submit Adesanya. And I still feel like he's being underrated. He destroyed Whitaker and then destroyed Adesanya. And he had a banger fight with Strickland. He's going to rematch Strickland. I'm going to choose Dricus for that matchup. And honestly, I don't know. I don't know why people... I feel like there's still like a hatred for Dricus. I don't know if it's just the Strickland fans, but Dricus has been proving to us that he is that guy. He is the undisputed champion. And I feel like he's kind of almost silencing the haters. I feel like maybe it's because of the Strickland match being a split decision win and being so close. But I feel like it should have been like confirmed that he's that guy. He's Timothy Neutron with that Adesanya performance. But I guess maybe the Strickland rematch, if he beats him like handedly, people will finally give Dricus the credit he deserves. I saw that he won International Fighter of the Year, and people were freaking out like Topuria, Pereira. I'm like, okay, yeah, but I still feel like Dricus has a good argument. I mean, it wasn't Fighter of the Year. It was, I don't know what International Fighter of the Year means. But I feel like he deserves some praise. He deserves some awards. He deserves that. Obviously, he's a champion. That's award enough. That's validation enough. But I feel like us fans should start gravitating towards Dricus. Not only because he's madman in the fucking octagon, but he's funny. He's been shit talking a lot on Twitter lately. Underrated trash talk. Goat trash talker. Shout out my boy Dricus. But yeah, shout out Dricus. Excuse me. I just said that, but you know. Can't stop shouting him out enough, bro. Shout out Dricus. One of my favorite fighters, moving up in my favorite fighters list. I love Dricus. Gentleman, all that shit. Fuck yeah. Anyway, next up, number 2 on the Miguel Don Best Fighters of 2024 list is Ilia Topuria. I feel like this one makes sense. I now have bullet points. I'm going to read the bullet points, but I feel like you all understand why Ilia Topuria is number 2. 2-0 this year with 2 performance bonuses. Defeated both GOATs in his division. Undefeated. He became champ this year. And I know this may be controversial. Once again, this is just a controversial list, man. He might be able to beat Islam. Who knows? The lighter man's skill. We saw what happened when Volkanovski fought Islam. So you never know. You never fucking know. I am going to bring him down a little bit. That's why he's at number 2. Beating Max and Volk is amazing and is deserving of Fighter of the Year itself. But I don't like what he's been saying lately about, yeah, I cleared my division. There's no one else. I mean, sure, you beat the GOATs, Max and Volk. But there's still Diego Lopez. There's still a Movsar Evloev. So it's a little iffy. I don't like how he's saying that, how he's planning on vacating the title and moving up. He wants to fight Oliveira. He wants to fight Poirier. Sure, cool, whatever. But I don't like that. I really don't like how he's just like, oh, my division's I cleared it. No, you fought Bryce Mitchell, you fought Josh Emmett, you fought fucking Max, you fought fucking Volk. What about a Diego Lopez, a surging prospect? What about Movsar Evloev, an undefeated prospect? I think he takes both of them, but who knows? We don't know. The fights haven't happened yet. And MMA is unpredictable. You never know. We didn't think he was going to crack fucking Max's chin. Max is like the uncrackable chin. I wonder how that's going to be now that he's been cracked. But anyway, I like Ilia Topuria. He had a great year. He just falls short of the number 1 spot because, as you probably all know, number 1 is definitely Alex Pereira. I understand the argument about Topuria potentially being number 1, but we have to give it to Pereira. He's active champ. He has quick turnarounds. He fought at UFC 300, saved the card because McGregor pulled out. Also, give credit to Prochazka, too, for stepping in. I wouldn't want to step in against Pereira on short notice. I wouldn't even want to step in the octagon with Pereira at all, with a full camp. That's fucking terrifying. So, shout out Prochazka in that aspect. But also, just overall, shout out Pereira, man. Like reading my bullet points, 3-0 this year, 1 performance bonus, and 1 fight of the night bonus. Active champ and savior of the UFC. What I mean by that is I feel like whenever they need someone to save a card, because I think he did it last year too, with the first Prochazka match, I'm pretty sure. But he's that guy. He's the company man. If you need someone to fill in, call him up. He'll save a card. He'll fight, whatever. He's been giving us incredible performances. I want to say incredible and insane at the same time. I feel like I know John Jones is arguably the best, but I feel like Pereira deserves a number 2 pound for pound spot. And honestly, I feel like you can make the argument that he's number 1. I mean, he beat Jamal Hill this year. He beat Yuri Prochazka, both in dominant fashion. And then he beats Khalil Roundtree. I feel like if he beats Magomed, you kind of have to give him that pound for pound spot. No, but Islam, it makes sense. He beat Volkanovski. He beat Poirier. He beat Oliveira. But I still feel like there's an argument for Pereira in there. He's been like floating around the 2 and 3 spot, but how come no one has talked about him potentially being pound for pound number 1? I feel like there's a great argument there. I don't know. I almost feel like Pereira's underrated in that aspect, but clearly he's not because people love him. He's a fan favorite. Fighter of the Year, I think whatever it's called, the MMA Awards or whatever, gave him Fighter of the Year. Deserves it 100%. Saved the card because McGregor pulled out. Fought Khalil Roundtree. Beat fucking Salty Mal Hill's ass. Yeah, Pereira's just that guy. And I'm so excited for his 2025. Because I feel like he could be Ankh. And then maybe move up to heavyweight. Maybe he's the first ever triple champ. Who knows? I feel like his time is ticking, though. I think he's 37, 38 or something like that. You know, as people get older. But I feel like he looks good for 38. He doesn't look sloppy. He doesn't look like he gasses quick. He has good IQ. Because last time when he fought at Salt Lake City, he fought Blachowicz. And he kind of gassed. But when he fights Khalil, I feel it was like a more measured approach. He was like kind of saving it. He was waiting for Khalil to blow his load, and then he was like, okay, I'm unloading. He entered Ultra Instinct. I think it was in the 4th round. He was just dodging everything, countering, right, straights, hooks to the body. He was fucking up Khalil Roundtree so bad. And that's what I'm saying. He's very skillful. I think there's an argument that I know I've said it multiple times, but why is no one talking about that? I feel like it's almost kind of bullshit that sure, John Jones, whatever, the greatest fighter in the history of the UFC, whatever. Islam definitely deserves pound for pound number 1, but I still feel like Pereira is close to reaching that pound for pound spot. And I feel like no one's really talking about it. But anyway, that is my Fighter of the Year list, best fighters of 2024 list. Pereira is undoubtedly the best fighter of the year. He deserves it. He deserves all of it. Fast tracked in the UFC. Fought Sean Strickland, Adesanya for the title, lost the title. Blachowicz fought for the title. All this shit. He's kind of just been that guy. I think he set the record for fastest to become double champ, if I'm not mistaken. And he's potentially the first person to become triple champ. Oh hell yeah! Oh, Pereira deserves it. And like I said, I was gonna cross-reference it with my list from last year. Islam was my number 1 last year. He's not on this list. He only had a fight with Poirier, which is praiseworthy, but he fought Volk twice last year. So I feel like that it's definitely a different year for Islam. He's still pound for pound. He's still skilled. He's still the best. But I don't know, just kind of a letdown of a year. Only fought once. I feel like that Arman fight should have happened sooner, but I know Arman was like suspended. And I think Pereira was 4 on that list last year. Now he's number 1. And then Dricus was 7, and now he's number 3. So you never know. What if Dricus becomes number 1 next year? You never know. I feel like it might be Topuria. Or it could be Dricus. What if he destroys Strickland? And then what if he destroys Hamzat? Oh yeah, Dricus would be number 1. He should be number 1 pound for pound after that. But anyway, those are the only differences from last year's list to this one. The rest are like new faces. Bo Nickel was on my list last year, not on here. Joe Pyfer was on my list last year, not on here, not even close. So yeah, a few differences, but I feel like these were the major differences: Pereira, Islam, and Dricus. So yeah, that is my list, best fighters of 2024. First list of the Miguel Don MMA Awards. So please let me know what you guys think in the comments. I've been getting absolutely flamed. That's why I'm still wearing the glasses of shame. But I appreciate you guys' support on my last video. I did not expect it to get that many views. No, so thank you for that. And like and subscribe. Obviously, if you want. I feel like it's just typical YouTuber stuff to just say, please like and subscribe. But do whatever the fuck you want. Roast me in the comments. I love replying to comments. That's my biggest thing. That's the thing that I really want is comments. I love the engagement. I love talking to you guys. Let me know what you guys think of my list. Let me know your guys' list. Let me know if you agree, disagree, or if you think I'm a fucking idiot and I should wear 3 pairs of sunglasses. Just wear a whole mask over my face. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.